Let us read a reconveyance case. This decision resolves two petitions for review and certiorari. Assailing the Court of Appeals decision and resolution, the assailed decision affirmed the Regional Trial Court's decision, which declared the spouses po as the rightful owners of the parcel of land. However, the Court of Appeals ruled that respondents Jose, Ernesto, and Isabel were innocent buyers in good faith, whose titles were entitled to protection. The assailed resolution denied the motion for partial reconsideration of the spouses Aboitiz. So, sa Cebu nga kaso, the spouses Aboitiz filed a petition and spouses po filed a separate petition. These petitions were consolidated in this case. This case involves a parcel of land located somewhere in the island of Cebu. It is a titled land with an OCT and titled under the name of Roberto. The land referred to as lot number 5. Okay? Ato lang shortcuton ilang lot number para masayon timan-an. This parcel of land originally belonged to the late Mariano. Mariano executed a deed of absolute sale in favor of his son, Ciriaco, over a 1 hectare plus parcel of land located somewhere in Cebu, covered by a tax declaration. So most likely at this time, at the time of the execution of the deed of absolute sale by Mariano in favor of his son Ciriaco, it was not yet a titled land. This property included two parcels of land, lot number 7 and the land subject of this case, lot number 5. Okay. So, ako rin ang shortcut ang mga lot numbers ha. Dili na mo real nga lot numbers sa parcels of land involved. So, lot number 7 and lot number 5. Ang involved daw ni kasuha, lot number 5. Ciriaco sold the two lots to Victoria. The parties executed a deed of absolute sale. Mariano died and was survived by his children, 5 children. Peter discovered later that Ciriaco had executed a quitclaim, renouncing his interest over lot number 7 in favor of Roberto. In the quitclaim, Ciriaco stated that he was the declared owner of lot numbers 5 and 7. Spouses po confronted Ciriaco by way of remedy, okay, na extrajudicial remedy to resolve the dispute. Ciriaco and spouses po executed a memorandum of agreement in which Ciriaco agreed to pay Peter the difference between the amount paid by the spouses po as consideration for the entire property and the value of the land spouses po were left with after the quitclaim. Okay, so murag ilang gi-offset. Spouses po declared that lot number 5 for taxation purposes was issued a certain tax declaration. Roberto also declared that lot number 5 for taxation purposes was issued another tax declaration. So, one parcel of land, two tax declaration certificates. Okay lang na kung one tax declaration cancels the other. Sunod sila ba? Or na revision, no? Na general revision or na conveyance. But in this case, mura siya o dasabay ba? Gadungan ang duha ka deklarasyon. In fact, the tax declaration of Roberto for the same parcel of land, no, lot number 5, there was an annotation. Mo ni ang nakasuwat ha, mo ni ang annotation. This tax declaration is also declared in the name of spouses po with a separate tax declaration number so that one may be considered a duplicate to the other. At least ikaw makapangandam ka, no, kung ikaw mapalit. May ibaw ka nga na duplicate nga deklarasyon. This is not uncommon, no? It does not necessarily follow a sakto or normal, but it is not uncommon. Roberto filed an application for original registration of lot number 5 with the Regional Trial Court, no, acting as land registration court. In its decision, the trial court granted the issuance of the OCT in the name of Roberto. So the petition was granted. The lot was immediately subdivided with portions sold to Ernesto and Jose. Spouses Po filed a complaint to recover the land and to declare nullity of title with damages. The complaint was filed with the appropriate Cebu court. The trial court ruled in favor of spouses Po in its decision, wherefore, premises considered, judgment is rendered in favor of plaintiffs and against defendants, declaring plaintiffs as owner of subject land and ordering the defendants to reconvey and/or return to plaintiffs lot number 5, declaring as absolute nullity all the documents of sale involving lot number 5 executed by the heirs of Mariano in favor of the defendant Roberto and such other documents used in the improvident issuance of titles in the name of defendants and to cancel the said titles. Spouses Aboitiz appealed to the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals in its decision partially affirmed the trial court decision declaring the spouses Po as the rightful owner of the land. However, it ruled that the titles issued to respondents Jose Ernesto and Isabel should be respected. The Court of Appeals discussed the inapplicability of the rules on double sale and the doctrine of buyer in good faith since the land was not yet registered when it was sold to spouses Po. However, it ruled in favor of the spouses Po on the premise that registered property may be reconveyed to the rightful or legal owner or to the one with a better right if the title was wrongfully or erroneously registered in another person's name. The Court of Appeals held that the Mariano heirs were no longer the owners of the lot at that time they sold it to Roberto because Mariano, the predecessor, during his lifetime already sold the same parcel of land to his son, Ciriaco. It found that the deed of absolute sale between Ciriaco and the spouses Po was duly notarized and was thus presumed regular on its face. The Memorandum of Agreement, the MOA, did not cancel, did not rescind the deed of absolute sale, but rather strengthened their claim that they entered into a contract of sale. It likewise ruled that, contrary to the assertion of the spouses Aboitiz, there was no showing that Ciriaco merely held the property in trust for the Mariano heirs or for his siblings. It held that the action of the spouses Po had not yet prescribed, it had not yet expired, because their complaint, when it was filed, was within the 10-year prescriptive period, as the title in favor of the spouses Aboitiz was issued not more than 10 years. Kaning 10-year prescriptive period, usually mo ni siya sa pag-recover ni mos property if it was if it was held by the wrongful owner, it was wrongfully registered to another person, and there is a presumption that that person held that property under implied trust. However, the Court of Appeals ruled that the certificates of title of Jose Ernesto and Isabel were valid as they were innocent buyers in good faith. The spouses Aboitiz thus filed their petition for review. They argue that the decision of the Regional Trial Court granting the complaint of the spouses Po is void for lack of jurisdiction over the matter. Lack of jurisdiction daw. Atong basahon. They claim that a branch of the Regional Trial Court has no jurisdiction to nullify a final and executory decision of a co-equal branch. It is the Court of Appeals that has this jurisdiction. They likewise assert that the spouses Po's cause of action has prescribed and allegedly accrued when the deed of absolute sale between the spouses Po and Ciriaco was executed. They maintain that more than 10 years had elapsed when the complaint was filed, thus barring the action through prescription. Manilang theory. Spouses Aboitiz further insist that estoppel and laches have already set in. They claim that they have been in open, public, continuous, uninterrupted, peaceful, and adverse possession in the concept of owners over the property for 46 years as of 1993 without the spouses po acting on the deed of absolute sale. They attest that the development of that subdivision was covered by utmost publicity. So na ay element of notoriety, no? Notorious, known, publicly known. It was not hidden from the public. But the spouses po did not immediately question the development or interpose any objection during the registration proceedings. Mo sa niya kung katingalataan. Kaya may judicial titling. Ano man sila ni raise of objection dito? Atong tanawon dito, no? They posit that the deed of absolute sale between Ciriaco and the spouses po is clearly fake and fraudulent, as evidenced by certifications of its non-existence in the notarial books and the spouses po's failure to enforce their rights over the property until 18 years later. So let this be a lesson, no? Magpanotaryo mo ka na yung klaro. And kung ikaw po the notary public, make sure to submit copies to the court sa inyong documents nga gi-notaryuhan. Online and physical copy. Depende sa rules, no? Okay, gamiton to na sa gapanotaryo. Umabot sa panahon, samot na pong property ang involved, yuta, no? Di ka katagan. Maybe 15 years later, kailangan o kayon to imong nanotaryuhan nga dokumento. Wala mo gi-submit, luoy kayo ang gapanotaryo. So, atuan ang obligation being notary public. They also affirm that the deed of absolute sale between Ciriaco and the spouses po's is inadmissible as no documentary stamp was paid and affixed. Okay, kailangan nag-DST ang deed of absolute sale. Kung ka ng mga affidavit, pwede ra katong loose stamp by tawag na name brown ba ng color sa DST papilit. Lastly, they contend that the Mariano heirs should have been impleaded in the action as they are indispensable parties. The spouses po filed a comment, ilang gitubag, where they argued that the regional trial court had jurisdiction when it granted their complaint because the case filed by the spouses Aboitiz was for the registration of the land, while the case they filed was for reconveyance. They insisted that their action had not yet prescribed. No? Wa pa daw mo prescribe. Because an action for reconveyance prescribes in 10 years from the date of issuance of the certificate of title over the property, they argued that laches had not set in. They claimed that the notarized deed of absolute sale between them and Ciriaco was not fake or fraudulent and was admissible in evidence, whereas the spouses Aboitiz failed to overcome its presumption of regularity and due execution. Kay kung notaryado mo god namong goy presumption of regularity and due execution. So kung ikaw mo contest sa iyang presumption of regularity and due execution, yung genuineness and due execution, you have to present enough evidence to controvert that presumption. No? Imo ng burden. So they asserted that the documentary stamps tax had been paid and that the Mariano heirs were not indispensable parties. Spouses filed a reply reiterating their arguments in the petition. Spouses po also filed a petition for review. They claim that respondents Jose, Ernesto, and Isabel are not innocent purchasers for value. They allegedly knew of the defective title of Roberto because his tax declaration had the following annotation. Sakto po, no? This tax declaration is also declared in the name of spouses po under separate tax declaration so that one may be considered a duplicate to the other. So, sakto po niya theory, no? Kung pagpalit ni mo, yung matang check. So, angay takang nahibalo nga naaday lain nga claimant sa property, kaya na may deklarasyon gasulti nga different ang declared owner for taxation purposes. Spouses Aboitiz filed a comment. Aside from reiterating their assertions in their petition for review, they argued that there was no evidence that they acted in bad faith, as subdivision lot buyers were not obliged to go beyond the Torrens title. Kaya naman ko ni certificate of registration and license to sell kaning mga subdivision projects nga legit. Okay? Spouses po filed a reply for resolution of the following issues. First, where the regional trial court has jurisdiction over the spouses Peter and Victoria Po's complaint. Second, whether the action is barred by prescription. Third, whether the doctrines of Estopel and Laches apply. Fourth, whether the land registration court's finding that Ciriaco Seno only held the property in trust for the Mariano heirs is binding as res judicata in this case. Fifth, whether the deed of absolute sale between Ciriaco Seno and the spouses Peter and Victoria Po should be considered as evidence of their entitlement to the property. Sixth, whether Mariano heirs as sellers in a deed of conveyance of realty are indispensable parties. And finally, whether the respondents Jose, Ernesto, and Isabel are innocent purchasers in good faith. So, atong tanahon ng ilang first issue. Spouses Aboitiz argue that the regional trial court did not have jurisdiction to nullify the final and executory decision of the regional trial court in a land registration case. They claim that it is the Court of Appeals that has jurisdiction to annul judgments of the regional trial court. However, the instant action is not for the annulment of judgment of a regional trial court. It is a complaint for reconveyance, cancellation of title, and damages. A complaint for reconveyance is an action which admits the registration of title of another party, but claims that such registration was erroneous or wrongful. It seeks the transfer of the title to the rightful and legal owner or to the party who has a superior right over it without prejudice to innocent purchasers in good faith. It seeks the transfer of a title issued in a valid proceeding. The relief prayed for may be granted on the basis of intrinsic fraud committed on the true owner instead of fraud committed on the procedure amounting to lack of jurisdiction. So, intrinsic fraud. An action for annulment of title questions the validity of the title because of the lack of due process of law. There is an allegation of nullity in the procedure and thus the invalidity of the title that is issued. The complaint of spouses Po asserted that they were the true owners of the parcel of land which was registered in the name of spouses Aboitiz. Okay. They allege that they acquired the property from Ciriaco, katong anak ni Mariano, who acquired it from Mariano. They claim that the spouses Aboitiz had the property registered without their knowledge and through fraud. Thus, they sought to recover the property and to cancel the title of the spouses Aboitiz. Thus, the prayer in their complaint stated, "Wherefore, premises considered, this honorable court is respectfully prayed to render judgment in favor of plaintiffs and against defendants, ordering the latter as follows. First, to reconvey and or return to plaintiffs lot number 5, which is the subject matter of this complaint. 2, to declare as absolute nullity all the documents of sale involving lot number 5 in favor of defendants and such other documents used in the improvident issuance of the title in the name of the defendants and to cancel said title. Finally, to pay damages." Di na lang natin detalyehan ng damages. Plaintiffs further pray for such other reliefs and remedies, just and equitable in the premises. So, muna siya itong catch-all prayer, no? Except for actions falling within the jurisdiction of the municipal trial courts, the regional trial courts have exclusive original jurisdiction over actions involving title to or possession of real property under Section 19 of Batas Pambansa Bilang 129. Section 19, Jurisdiction in Civil Cases. Regional trial courts, mo ang balaod sa jurisdiction at this time, ha? Regional trial courts shall exercise exclusive original jurisdiction in all civil actions which involve the title to or possession of real property or any interest therein, except actions for forcible entry into an unlawful detainer of lands or buildings, original jurisdiction over which is conferred upon municipal level courts. No? An action for a conveyance and annulment of title is an action involving the title to real property. The complaint of spouses po is clearly an action for a conveyance and annulment of title. Thus, the regional trial court has jurisdiction to hear the case. Spouses Aboitiz claim that it is the Court of Appeals that has jurisdiction over the annulment of regional trial court judgments. The jurisdiction of the Court of Appeals is provided in Section 9 of Batas Pambansa Bilang 129. What is Section 9? Jurisdiction of the Intermediate Appellate Court. Exclusive original jurisdiction over actions for annulment of judgments of regional trial courts, while the Court of Appeals has jurisdiction to annul judgments of the regional trial courts. The case at bar is not for the annulment of a judgment of a regional trial court. It is for a conveyance and the annulment of title. The difference between these two actions was discussed in another case. An action for annulment of judgment is a remedy in equity, so exceptional in nature that it may be availed of only when other remedies are wanting, and only if the judgment, final order, or final resolution sought to be annulled was rendered by a court lacking jurisdiction or through extrinsic fraud sa proceedings. No? An action for a conveyance, on the other hand, is a legal and equitable remedy granted to the rightful owner of land which has been wrongfully or erroneously registered in the name of another for the purpose of compelling the latter to transfer or reconvey the land to him. The Court of Appeals has exclusive original jurisdiction over actions for annulment of judgments of regional trial courts, whereas actions for reconveyance of real property may be filed before the regional trial courts or the municipal trial courts, depending on the assessed value of the property involved. Petitioners allege that first, they are the owners of the land by virtue of a sale between their and respondents' predecessors in interest. No? Kanya-kanya nila nga predecessors in interest. And second, that respondents Ramoses and Art Marketing illegally dispossessed them by having the same property registered in respondents' names. Thus, far from establishing a case for annulment of judgment, the foregoing allegations clearly show a case for reconveyance. As stated, a complaint for reconveyance is a remedy where the plaintiff argues for an order for the defendant to transfer its title issued in a proceeding not otherwise invalid. The relief prayed for may be granted on the basis of intrinsic rather than extrinsic fraud. No? That is, fraud committed on the real owner rather than fraud committed on the procedure amounting to lack of jurisdiction. So, ang intrinsic fraud, fraud committed on the real owner. No? Ang extrinsic fraud, that is fraud committed on the procedure amounting to lack of jurisdiction. An action for annulment of title, on the other hand, questions the validity of the grant of title on grounds which amount to lack of due process of law. The remedy is premised in the nullity of the procedure and thus the invalidity of the title that is issued. Title that is invalidated as a result of a successful action for annulment against the decision of a regional trial court acting as a land registration court may still, however, be granted on the merits in another proceeding not infected by lack of jurisdiction or extrinsic fraud if its legal basis on the merits is properly alleged and proven. Considering the spouses Aboitiz fraudulent registration without the spouses po knowledge and the latter's assertion of their ownership of the land, their right to recover the property and to cancel the spouses Aboitiz title, the action is for reconveyance and annulment of title and not for annulment of judgment. Ano kang ilam ning gilalisan po, no? Nga di mo gid ni siya annulment of judgment, reconveyance gini siya, and annulment of title. Siguro at that time, di pa kini klaro, pero di man ni karaan niya kaso. Thus, the regional trial court has jurisdiction to hear this case. Spouses Aboitiz argue that the spouses' cause of action has prescribed They claim that prescription has set in because the original complaint was filed after more than 10 years after the deed of absolute sale between Ciriaco and Spouses Po was executed. Spouses Po's action has not prescribed. Muna ang ruling. An action for reconveyance prescribes in 10 years from the issuance of the torrent's title over the property. The basis for this is Section 53, Paragraph 3 of PD 1529 in relation to Articles 1456 and 1144, Paragraph 2 of the Civil Code. Under PD 1529 of the Property Registration Decree, the owner of a property may avail of legal remedies against a registration procured by fraud. Section 53, presentation of owner's duplicate upon entry of new certificate. In all cases of registration procured by fraud, the owner may pursue all his legal and equitable remedies against the parties to such fraud without prejudice, however, to the rights of any innocent holder for value of a certificate of title. Article 1456 of the Civil Code provides that a person acquiring a property through fraud becomes an implied trustee, na implied trust of the property's true and lawful owner. An implied trust is based on equity and is either constructive trust or a resulting trust. A resulting trust is created by implication of law and is presumed as intended by the parties. A constructive trust is created by force of law, such as when a title is registered in favor of a person other than the true owner. So, walay sabot by force of law to nahitabo ang trust. The implied trustee only acquires the right to the beneficial enjoyment of the property. The legal title remains with the true owner. In another case, Article 1456 of the Civil Code provides, if the property is acquired through mistake or fraud, the person obtaining it is, by force of law, considered a trustee of an implied trust for the benefit of the person from whom the property comes. Thus, it was held that when a party uses fraud or concealment to obtain a certificate of title of property, a constructive trust is created in favor of the defrauded party. Constructive trusts are created by the construction of equity in order to satisfy the demands of justice and prevent unjust enrichment. They arise contrary to intention against one who, by fraud, duress, or abuse of confidence, obtains or holds the legal right to property which he ought not in equity and good conscience to hold. When property is registered in another's name, an implied or constructive trust is created by law in favor of the true owner. The action for reconveyance of title to the rightful owner prescribes in 10 years from the issuance of the title. Thus, the law creates a trust in favor of the property's true owner. The prescriptive period to enforce this trust is 10 years from the time the right of action accrues. Article 1144 of the Civil Code provides the following actions must be brought within 10 years from the time the right of action accrues. First, upon a written contract. Second, upon an obligation created by law. Third, upon a judgment. In an action for reconveyance, the right of action accrues from the time the property is registered. So, the moment na tituluhan siya, diha daw musugod og dagan ang iyahang right of action, ang iyang prescription. In another case, the petitioners were able to transfer the property under their names without knowledge of the respondent. The respondent filed an action for reconveyance. In arguing that the action for reconveyance had prescribed, petitioners claimed that the cause of action of the respondent should be based on the latter's deed of sale, and thus the respondent's right of action should have accrued from its execution. This court, however, ruled that the right of action accrued from the time the property was registered because registration is the act that signifies that the adverse party repudiates the implied trust. In the case at bar, respondent's action, which is for reconveyance and cancellation of title, is based on an implied trust under Article 1456 of the Civil Code, since he averred in his complaint that through fraud, petitioners were able to obtain a certificate of title over the property. He does not seek the annulment of avoidable contract, whereby Articles 1390 and 1391 of the Civil Code would find application such that the cause of action would prescribe in 4 years. An action for a conveyance based on implied or constructive trust prescribes in 10 years from the alleged fraudulent registration or date of issuance of the certificate of title over the property. It is now well settled that the prescriptive period to recover property obtained by fraud or mistake, giving rise to an implied trust under Article 1456 of the Civil Code, is 10 years, pursuant to 1144 of the Civil Code. This 10-year prescriptive period begins to run from the date the adverse party repudiates the implied trust, which repudiation takes place when the adverse party registers the land. Likewise, in another case, the registration of an instrument in the Office of the Register of Deeds constitutes constructive notice to the whole world, and therefore discovery of the fraud is deemed to have taken place at the time of the registration. Such registration is deemed to be a constructive notice to the alleged fiduciary or trust relationship has been repudiated. It is now settled that an action of for an implied or constructive trust prescribes in 10 years from the date the right of action accrued. The issuance of transfer certificate of titles number 12345 to this person commenced the effective assertion of adverse title for the purpose of the statute of limitations. Di amudagan. It will start to run at that point. Registration of the property is a constructive notice to the whole world. Kada lang galing no, constructive notice. Pero di man dyan may balo. Kinsa may magsige monitor dito sa Register of Deeds. Magsige check siyang titulo. Even ang publication sa newspaper, no? Constructive notice to the whole world. Pero I mean, be realistic. Kinsa may mag-okay para newspaper, magtanaw dito, sige publish sa likod sa kaning tabloid. No? May magbasa na. Thus, in registering the property, the adverse party repudiates the implied trust. Necessarily, the cause of action accrues upon registration. An action for a conveyance and annulment of title does not seek to question the contract which allowed the adverse party to obtain the title to the property. What is put on issue in an action for a conveyance and cancellation of title is the ownership of the property and its registration. It does not question any fraudulent contract. Should that be the case, the applicable provisions are Articles 1390 and 1391 of the Civil Code. Thus, an action for a conveyance and cancellation of title prescribes in 10 years from the time of the issuance of the torrens title over the property. Considering that the spouse's post complaint was filed less than 3 years from the issuance of the torrens title over the property, it is well within the 10-year prescriptive period imposed on an action for a conveyance. So, dili daw prescribed. Spouses aboitis insist that estoppel and laches have already set in. They claim that they have been in open, continuous, public, peaceful, and adverse possession in the concept of owners over the property for 46 years without the spouses acting on their deed of absolute sale. Moreover, the development of the subdivision was covered by utmost publicity, meaning there was notoriety. No, it was not hidden from the public. But the spouses did not promptly question the development. In fact, they did not interpose any objection during the registration proceedings. There is laches when a party was negligent or has failed to assert a right within a reasonable time, thus giving rise to the presumption that he or she has abandoned it. Laches has set in when it is already inequitable or unfair to allow the party to assert the right. The elements of laches were enumerated in another case. There is laches when the conduct of the defendant or one under whom he claims gave rise to the situation complained of. No? Second, there was a delay in asserting a right after knowledge of the defendant's conduct and an opportunity, and after an opportunity to sue. Third, defendant had no knowledge or notice that the complainant would assert his right. 4. There is injury or prejudice to the defendant in the event relief is accorded to the complainant. Laches is different from prescription. Muna ni iyang distinction diri. Prescription lahi, laches lahi. Kuan na siya, puro siya murabag expiry ang atong giistoryaan diri. Prescription deals with the delay itself and thus is an issue of how much time has passed. The time period when prescription is deemed to have set in is fixed by law. Laches, on the other hand, concerns itself with the effect of delay and not the period of time that has lapsed. It asks the question whether the delay has changed the condition of the property or the relation of the parties such that it is no longer equitable to insist on the original right. In another case, the appellee is correct in its contention that the defense of laches applies independently of prescription. Laches is different from the statute of limitations. Prescription is concerned with the fact of delay, whereas laches is concerned with the effect of delay. Prescription is a matter of time. Laches is principally a question of inequity of permitting a claim to be enforced, this inequity being founded on some change in the condition of the property or the relation of the parties. Prescription is statutory, laches is not. Laches applies in equity, whereas prescription applies at law. Prescription is based on fixed time, laches is not. The defense of laches is based on equity. It is not based on the title of the party invoking it, but on the right holder's long inaction or inexcusable neglect to assert his claim. The court rules that the spouses po is not barred by laches. There is no showing that they abandoned their right to the property. The factual findings reveal that the spouses po had their rights over the property registered in the assessor's office. They testified that they introduced improvements by cultivating fruit trees after they purchased the lots. When the spouses po discovered that Ciriaco executed a quit claim, renouncing his interest over lot number 7 lot number 7 in favor of Roberto, spouses po executed a MOA, Memorandum of Agreement with Ciriaco to protect their interest in lot number 5. Spouses po also had the property declared for taxation purposes in their names, tax declaration 0634, okay, was issued. So naa sila declaration under their name. Thus, when the spouses aboitis also had the property declared for taxation purposes, it had the annotation. This tax declaration is also declared in the name of spouses po under a certain tax declaration, so that one may be considered a duplicate to the other. Spouses aboitis only acquired their alleged rights over the property later, when the Mariano heirs executed the deeds of sale in their favor. Deeds of sale, ha? Kaya dagan man nga deed of sale. Assuming the spouses aboitis immediately took possession and began construction, it cannot be said that the spouses po were in delay in asserting their right. In the spouses po's complaint, they asserted that they made demands upon the spouses aboitis to reconvey to them the property. They also refer the matter to the barangay for conciliation. That demands were made to the defendants to reconvey to the plaintiffs lot number 5, unlawfully and feloniously acquired by defendants, but to no avail, thereby compelling the plaintiffs to elevate the matter for barangay conciliation, and for failure of the parties to effect a settlement. The proper certification to file action was then issued, a copy of which is here to attach. In their answer with counterclaim, spouses aboitis did not deny that demands were made upon them and that the matter was elevated for barangay conciliation. Paragraph 11 is denied as regards the allegation, mo nilang answer ha, that lot number 5 was feloniously and unlawfully acquired by the defendants for being false. Mo nilang denial. The truth is that defendants were in good faith in acquiring the same property. Defendants refused to meet the demands of settlement by plaintiffs because they are strangers to the property in question. When they discovered that the property was registered in the name of the spouses Aboitiz, spouses po then filed the instant complaint to recover the property sold to them by Ciriaco, alleging that it was done without their knowledge through evident bad faith and fraud. Spouses po filed this case in less than 3 years from the time of registration. Based on these circumstances, the elements of laches are clearly lacking in this case. There was no delay in asserting their right over the property, and the spouses Aboitiz had knowledge that the spouses po would assert their right. Thus, it cannot be said that they are barred by laches. So, wala daw malatches sila ni spouses po. Taas ni kasuhada. The spouses Aboitiz insist that there is already a finding by the regional trial court in the land registration case that Ciriaco merely held the property in trust for the Mariano heirs. Thus, Ciriaco could not have validly sold the property to spouses po. They claim that these findings are binding on the whole world because land registration proceedings are actions in rem. In the decision in the land registration case, no one opposed the application for registration. Moreover, spouses Aboitiz presented only one witness, Espina, an employee of Roberto, who testified that this parcel of land is covered by certain tax declarations. Katong previous kang Ciriaco, then ang kato subsequent to Roberto. That the tax declarations covering lot number 5 are in the name of Ciriaco because the heirs of Mariano have agreed that lot number 5 be held in trust by Ciriaco in favor of the heirs. This court rules that this cannot be binding in this action for reconveyance. Mananinindot, nganong dili binding. Res judicata embraces two concepts. First, bar by prior judgment. Second, conclusiveness of judgment, respectively covered under Rule 39, Section 47 of the Rules of Court, paragraphs B and C. Section 47, effect of judgments or final orders. The effect of a judgment or final order rendered by a court of the Philippines having jurisdiction to pronounce the judgment or final order may be as follows. In other cases, the judgment or final order is with respect to the matter directly adjudged or as to any other matter that could have been raised in relation thereto, conclusive between the parties and their successors in interest by title subsequent to the commencement of the action or special proceeding, litigating for the same thing and under the same title and in the same capacity. Next, in any other litigation between the same parties or their successors in interest that only is deemed to have been adjudged in a former judgment or final order which appears upon its face to have been so adjudged or which has actually and necessarily included therein or necessary thereto. Res judicata in the concept of bar by prior judgment prescribes or proscribes the filing of another action based on the same claim, demand, or cause of action. It applies when the following are present. There is a final judgment or order. If it is a judgment or order on the merits, it was rendered by a court having jurisdiction over the subject matter and parties. Okay? Dapat ang iyahang subject matter and parties parehas, and there is identity of parties, of subject matter, and of causes of action between the first and second actions. So, na parehas, no? Unya, katong ganina day na ay jurisdiction ng court not only over the subject matter but also on the parties. Res judicata in the concept of conclusiveness of judgment applies when there is an identity of issues in two cases between the same parties involving different causes of action. Its effect is to bar the relitigation of particular facts or issues which have already been adjudicated in the other case. In another case, The second concept, conclusiveness of judgment. Taasa. Naman to. States that a fact or question which was in issue in a former suit and was there judicially passed upon and determined by a court of competent jurisdiction is conclusively settled by the judgment therein, as far as the parties to that action and the persons in privity with them are concerned, and cannot be again litigated in any future action between such parties or their privies in the same court or any other court of concurrent jurisdiction on either the same or different cause of action, while the judgment remains unreversed by the proper authority. It has been held that in order that a judgment in one action can be conclusive as to a particular matter in another action between the same parties or their privies, it is essential that the issues be identical. If a particular point or question is in issue in the second action, the judgment will depend on the determination of that particular point or question. A former judgment between the same parties or their privies will be final and conclusive in the second if that same point or question was in issue and adjudicated in the first suit. Identity of cause of action is not required, but merely identity of issues. So, di kailangan nga parehas ang cause of action, kailangan lang kuno parehas ang issues. To be continued dapat ani. Katugo naman ko. No? See you tomorrow, taasa. Pero, dili kansis basa. No? This case is very full of doctrines, lessons, explanations. No? So, I'll see you in the next video. Almost midnight. See you.